The heart of your teams. The heart of St. Louis. Valley Sports Midwest. The heart of the fan.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And tonight from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, it's game number 2 of the 4-game series from American Family Field. The St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. And welcome to the broadcast booth here in Milwaukee. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer, Jim Edmonds. I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes is with us as well. Hard to believe, here we are about 10 weeks into this regular season. It's only start number 2 of the regular season for Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, it's been a long road back for Jack, but he got back out there. It's been a heck of a climb for him and a tough first outing for him. Personally, he said he got sped up a little bit. Obviously, just the 3 innings, but gave up 4 runs. He's looking to go a little bit more and slow the game down. Hopefully he'll be out there for at least 5, maybe 6.
Chichi Gonzalez thrust into the rotation for Milwaukee because of injury. He'll get the start for the Brewers tonight. Defense all over the place in game 1. And a closer look at that is coming up. It's Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports. St. Louis Cardinals OPS leaders this year. On base plus slugging. It really such a key stat when you talk about offense. And look at the rookie second on that list, Brendan Donovan. He's had a tough road trip. He's in the lineup tonight. Then Nolan Arenado and another rookie in Wandy Yepez. The Bounty Quick Stats. And Brendan Donovan will be at first base tonight. Yepez in the lineup. He had 2 hits in game 1. Cardinal baseball coming up. Have a little catch outside the ballpark and then go see the big leaguers as we come to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, American Family Field. And it is hot. It's 96 degrees here in Milwaukee, and you rarely see it get up to mid to high 90s this part of the country. Jim Hayes, Jim Edmonds, and Dan McLaughlin with you here on Valley Sports. Game number 2 of the 4-game set.
Dan, I believe they said this might be one of the hottest days in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be hot again tomorrow. And on Thursday, Tommy Edman at the top of the lineup. And then Brendan Donovan and Nolan Arenado, Juan Yepez, Nolan Gorman, Dylan Carlson, Harrison Bader, Lars Nootbaar, Andrew Kisner for St. Louis. And you note that there's no Paul Goldschmidt out with a sore lower back, so he'll have the night off. Chichi Gonzalez, he's had a couple of starts this season. His first with Milwaukee. High ERA. And it's a spot start. They've had a lot of injuries. 2 starts this year, and in those games, he hasn't lasted more than 4 innings. He's surrendered 3 runs in both those games, and there's a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal.
Yeah, you can see right there what he throws. He's a career 9-23 in the big leagues after about 6 years, and
hasn't really, what do you say, hasn't really got a foothold in the game yet. Just kind of bopped around a little bit. Only pitched in about between 14 and 20 games a year, so he's out there to prove something too. So we'll see how this goes.
Well, he's a former first-round pick of the Rangers back in 2013. He was 23rd overall, and he's now been seeing action in parts of 6 major league seasons between Texas, Colorado, Minnesota, and now here he is with Milwaukee. And the right-hander starts things off against Tommy Edman. He had 3 terrific defensive plays last night. Average at 280, 7 home runs, and he's driven in 29 on the year. And the first pitch by Gonzalez is a fly ball out to left, backing up Yelich, and the catch is made on the edge of the track in the first out. Well, Tyrone Taylor has really hit the Cardinals well so far this season, and once again he's in center field tonight. Yelich in left, McCutchen in right field. And Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Peterson, Adames, Urias, Telez along the infield. Victor Caratini behind the plate.
He's got the right number in center, I'll tell you that much.
Is that 51?
Yeah, that's 51.
Let me guess.
He was wearing it backwards.
15.
Interesting. You said, he's a first-round pick here, Gonzalez, out of college, and still working on getting, a solid season in. It's amazing what the rounds sometimes just don't matter. To have struggle getting through certain parts of your career and kind of either hit or miss or kind of bounce around, and being drafted in 13 and bounce right up to the big leagues in 15, but only has pitched in 63 games.
There's Brendan Donovan with that base hit on a pitch up, his second hit in this series, third on the road trip. He had an infield hit in the 9th inning last night, then was thrown out at second base in a costly base running mistake for Brendan Donovan, but he hasn't made many. He's been awfully good. There's Nolan Arenado, who is 0 for his last 15 against Milwaukee pitching. Well, Gonzalez missed 17 and 18. He had Tommy John surgery, and then in the 2020 season only pitched 1 month. He had bicep tendonitis. Last year he gets COVID in July. He's out for 3 weeks, and then finally started getting going again, and then there was no oblique strain. So that's why the numbers in terms of starts and innings are way down for a former first-round pick.
Well, about the fact you were talking about Donovan, does it not surprise me he had a really good at bat against Hader last night, ended up getting an infield hit. That's a tough task right there. And then Hader was basically like, okay, I've seen enough. Stepped it up a notch.
He's now 13 for 13 in saves against the Cardinals. And the current Cardinals on the entire roster, Jimmy, they're hitting 102. That's the average against Josh Hader. Man, is he good.
Oh, he looked it last night. I mean, the ball came out of his hand. It's something special to watch. I mean, I think it feel like you watch him more, and I wouldn't say he's even any more polished, but it looks like he has more jump on the ball. Like, it just was coming out of his hands so good, and even with the time off, he was around the plate.
And a 0-2 pitch. Arenado pops it up right side. Tellez giving chase. McCutchen over and out of play. Juan Yepez on deck. Minnesota signed Gonzalez to a minor league contract over the winter, and he was pitching at AAA St. Paul. 7 total innings with the Twins, the major leagues, but gave up 6 runs, 12 hits, a couple of home runs. And he's throwing a little bit differently this year. He's kind of ditched the curveball that's more sinker, slider, fastball. We'll see what he's got here tonight.
Well, it kind of makes sense if you think about when you're trying to keep the ball down. If you don't have a good sharp breaking ball, that's your one pitch that probably can be the hanger, right? You don't hang sliders as much, even though that you can, but they will be down a little bit more. If you have a bad breaking ball, that's going to stay up in the zone a little bit more. So if you're going to reduce your pitches, that makes good sense. Try to keep the ball down and keep everything from jumping up out of your hand and being seen.
And the 1-2 ripped fair inside the left field line. Off the sidewall, Donovan on his way to third base, trotting into second. It'll be Nolan Arenado. Jace Peterson, very good defensive player, almost got it, went past him, and it's a 1-out double for Nolan Arenado.
Ball was smoked. It is amazing that the sound off the bat right now is totally changed. Nice and hot. Tried to get a fastball inside. It did not get in there.
15th double for Arenado this year. And now it's Juan Yepez. He had the pinch hit home run on Sunday night. And then last night a double in the second inning, single in the 7th. Cardinals had just 3 hits on the night. One thing I've noticed with Juan, to me, he's moved in a little bit closer to the plate. I mean, his back foot is on the chalk. It seems like he's a little bit more in, and I wonder if that's a byproduct of him opening up so much, and maybe those inside pitches allows him not only stay on those but get to the outside pitch.
Well, I thought he was it was interesting because I think he's made a few changes. I think he's a little closed up more, even though he's on top of the plate.
Slowly hit up the third base line. It's fair, and Yepez is out. Run will score. That's Donovan. And it's 1-0 Cardinals as Juan Yepez picks up his 17th RBI. Skip on the phone to see if indeed he beat it out.
That's a gutsy play by Peterson right there. He almost waited too long. But this is what good players do. He sat over the ball a little bit, waited, and then he said, I got to play this ball. I only have so much time. And he just beats him right there.
But I thought Yepez has done a nice job. He's adjusted a little bit. He was open. He was getting pitched in. And, you know, I was talking with Albert, and he talks about how, you know, and these guys need to learn how to take pitches and let that pitch go on the inside. I talk about it all the time. I had a nice talk with Gorman before the game today and was talking about last night's game and how that nasty cutter, it's almost unhittable. And I said, yeah, it's one of those pitches you almost have to take. And even Chad Blair, which has seen 1 billion baseball games as the video guy and basically another coach, has said, man, I can't believe how nasty he was last night.
Gorman, this plate appearance is 100th of his young career. Hitting for power, driving in runs, scoring runs. One of 4 Cardinal rookies ever in their first 28 games to have the kind of numbers that he has in terms of the power. 4 home runs and driven in 13. Tough night for him though last night. Really a tough night across the board because of Corbin Burns. Nolan Gorman had 3 strikeouts and went 0 for 3. Burns was awesome though.
Interesting talking to him today too. He was talking about the cutter and he said, you know, just what we talk about. That cutter was so good that he actually even froze him on a fastball away, trying to go back door. And it's like they're trying to. And I said, you know, those are the things they try to do up here. I said, your changes up here in the big league aren't to change your swing, it's change your thought process. You know, change pitches that you can't hit and you take them. You don't try to hit the best pitch. You kind of get rid of it. And he just kind of sat there and listened. He didn't say a single word. And I thought, because he's so quiet anyways, he just sat there and was like, interesting.
And a swing and a miss.
But that's what they try to do to young kids right there. They try to get you to speed up. And then right now, that's the pitch, right? Anything going down and into lefties, that's kind of the new split-fingered fastball, is that kind of cutter slider in, because you have to pull the trigger early when the pitch is inside.
Runner at second, shift on the right side, and a 3-2 pitch to Nolan Gorman. And Gorman hits it into right. McCutchen trapped it, and a run will score. So Nolan Gorman drives in his 14th with a 2-out base hit here in the first, and it's 2-0. Great effort by Andrew McCutchen. Comes up maybe a half-foot shy, and lucky for him, he kept that in front too.
That'd have been a sinking liner a little bit there, and that's a really good adjustment right there by Gorman, and not such a good adjustment, I think, by Gonzalez. He has him kind of set up for that little cutter slider again, and then just throws him with like a backdoor breaking ball. It grabs too much plate. Yeah, you're right. He could have missed this ball. It could have been off to the races.
There's Dylan Carlson. He has walked in 6 straight games, average at .251 with 4 home runs, and is driven in 16. Gorman, your runner at first base. Way inside to Dylan. Brewers last night snapped a 6-game home losing streak. Longest since losing 6 in a row all the way back in 2016. And with the loss, the Cardinals have dropped 8 of the past 12 away from Busch Stadium. And they start a game under the 500 mark on the road at 17-18. And that's in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, not the start that Craig Counsell is looking for, with all the injuries that they have had, in particular key injuries in the rotation with Ashby out, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta. So they're trying to kind of patchwork this together.
Piece it together, huh?
Yep. And the 2-0 hit sharply to second. Urias makes the play on a liner. Well, the Cardinals get 3 hits, 2 runs, and a lead for Jack Flaherty. His second start of 2022 is coming up. Lead also Juan Yepez, another rookie with an RBI. 2-0 Cardinals. And Jack Flaherty getting the start for St. Louis. So good at the beginning of last year, then had the injury, tried to come back, wasn't quite right. Started this year on the IL. And a look at his Hyundai pitch arsenal. Flaherty, 4 runs, 2 earned at 3 innings against the Pirates. He threw his 4-seamer in that start, 53% of his pitches, and the average velocity was right around 92. He did hit 95 in that first inning, and we'll see how he goes tonight.
Yeah, I thought he started off pretty good. I really did. He said, I talked to him on the phone, and then he had said it in an interview where, take this for what you want, but he said the game kind of sped up on him, and what that means is there's a lot of different things that means. Is he lost control of the game and his emotions and maybe what was going on, and all of a sudden, sometimes when you're out there, you walk off the field and say, what just happened? And then that can happen. That can happen during an at bat. You can go up there and be 1, 2, 3, and you're out, and sit down and go, what just happened? And so those things are what you try to do when you get to the big leagues, and you calm down and you have to walk around. You have to figure out a way. You see the hitters walk out of the box every now and then. You got to figure out a way to catch yourself, catch your breath, and regroup. And so today, the Toyota key to the game for me is slow it down, and that's for Jack to keep his normal composure and to really just kind of one pitch at a time and go from there. Danny, what was really funny is I went into Ollie's office today and kind of listened to what a lot of people had to say, and I asked them a question, and I said, let me ask you a question. When you see a guy like Jack, and I talked to him personally, and he said the game got a little quick, can you tell? And he said, you know what, I didn't realize in his mind the game was going that fast, but his mannerisms were totally different. And he kind of went through it. Normally he walks around the mound, he tosses the ball around, he shrugs his shoulders. He said none of that. He was getting the ball back and throwing it. And so that's what kind of look for now. I thought that was really good insight from Ollie right there.
It was the rest of that lineup following Yelich, Adames, Tellez, then McCutchen, Renfroe, Caratini, Urias, Peterson, and Taylor. So leadoff walk to Yelich, and now Willie Adames. Only Corey Seager of Texas has more home runs than Adames among shortstops in the big leagues. Willie with 13. He's tied with Hunter Renfroe for the team lead. Corey Seager with 14 for the Rangers. Yelich a threat to steal, 10 for 10 and stolen bases this year, and that's hit out of play. I'm sure part of that too, Jimmy, of speeding up is finding release point. You're amped up. You haven't been out there. Maybe mechanically you're thinking about everything that you need to do, that you've been working on. There's just a lot that has to come together.
Yeah, I would think that the mind starts going a little fast, and you're like, why can't I throw this pitch for a strike? How did I used to do this? And then you kind of lose your, taking a deep breath, back off a little bit. Doesn't really have anything to do with throwing strikes or getting hit. It has more to do with taking your time. And the other thing Ollie said was one pitch at a time. You can tell when a guy starts rushing.
The 2-1 pitch. Adames has grounded into 6 double plays. And a fly ball lifted in the air out to deep right. Carlson back, and it's gone. It's a 2-run opposite field home run. Willie Adames.
This is just a ball that gets, that's basically right down the middle with a fastball right there. Just parked right now. The ball is flying, and that ball is hit hard. I think Adames is one of those guys you almost have to pound him in until you make him think that you're going to pitch him in there the whole game, so he cannot stay on the ball and go up the middle and the other way.
Well, one swing and we're tied. A walk, home run by Adames, his 14th. We're tied 2-2. Rowdy Tellez takes a pitch high. Velocity's been right around 91, 92 here tonight. So you keep an eye on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, coming back from a shoulder injury is probably the worst. I was even talking to Ricky Horton about that today, where, you know, your shoulder is always that one thing that's got so many pieces to it that you sometimes will take you a while to get your arm angle back. And you know, your elbow is basically some bones and some ligaments and let it fly, where your shoulder's got so many little pieces that you just wonder when it's going to start hurting.
Doesn't get that call, and it's 3-0 on Tellez. I also wonder in the back of a mind of any pitcher, not just Flaherty, you're just tentative to let it go too. You want to stay out there, you want to be healthy, you want to contribute. And that's 2 walks here in the first by Flaherty, and still nobody out. 10 balls and 13 pitches. Here's Andrew McCutchen. Hitting .239 with the 4 home runs. And has driven in 25. He was the DH last night and went 0 for 4. There wasn't a lot of hitting in the game last night. It's 6 hits from Milwaukee. The 2-run home run by Taylor in the 5th. That was the deciding blow in the ballgame as McCutchen calls time.
How about you? But it felt like there was no hitting going on yesterday.
Pretty good pitching.
Oh, it was. It was as good as it gets as far as what we've seen so far this year.
And the 0-1. Ground ball left side, taken there by Edman. A turn by Gorman, and safe at first as McCutchen can still run and gets down the line. So you got Brendan Donovan at first base. Goldie nursing that sore lower back, and they expect him to be in the lineup before this trip is through. Gorman at second, Edman at short, Arenado is at third, Kisner behind the plate, Nootbaar, Bader, and Carlson in the outfield, and around the horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. He's been pitching behind at the first 4 batters. He's not thrown a first pitch strike yet. Here's Hunter Renfroe riding a 6-game hitting streak. Got an extra base hit in 4 straight. Hit a double last night.
That's that pitch right there that Jack is usually so effective with. Down and away to right-handers. He hasn't gotten it, hasn't located it right where he wants it yet.
Short lead at first. That's McCutchen. Kept in front by Kisner. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. So command clearly has been an issue here in this game early on for Flaherty, and was so the other night.
Well, it's going to take him some time. I mean, like,
Can't say it enough. You cannot replicate this game speed, and that's not just because it's the game. It's because of everything that goes in it emotionally.
The 2-0 pulled foul.
Can't ever duplicate the adrenaline and the just basically the ability of the big league hitters and all the stuff that comes with it. I mean, it's just not possible.
So with the win last night, the Brewers, they come into play in first place, 9 games above 500, 39-30. Cardinals 38-31, and it's game number 70 tonight of this season. Still a long ways to go. 3-1.
Kisner is just unbelievable, isn't he? Defensively, he's just gotten better and better, and like a wall back there.
Winningest manager now in Brewers history, Craig Counsell. It's Pat Murphy there in the background on the left. His bench coach. 3 balls, 1 strike. And the next to Hunter Renfroe. 3 walks here in this first inning.
Well, he missed his location right there, but 95 was kind of nice to see. Know that he still has that in his arm. It's not short of that. It's just maybe trying to throw strikes, taking a little bit off. It's a nice idea right here to Maddox. Just go to slow him down. Let's find out what's going on. I think it's feedback is important, right? If you're the manager or the pitching coach, it's easy to see if something's wrong, but I would kind of sometimes want to know some feedback, like, hey, what's going on? Hey, what do you feel? How's your arm? How's your heart rate? You know, all of it.
So 3 walks in this first inning. Also the 2-run homer allowed. And runners at first and second for the switch hitting Victor Caratini. So Flaherty so far at 20 pitches and only 6 strikes. Caratini on a 4-game hitting streak, 8 for his last 13. Even further in his last 12 games, hitting close to 400. So swinging a hot bat. Arenado is off the line, but even with the bag. At third base, first pitch to Caratini, a strike.
I think about maybe the conditioning can come into play, because like I said, it is as hot as it gets here in Milwaukee.
Well, Milwaukee is 1-4 in a row. They've outscored their opponents in these 4 games 20-10. A sweep over Cincinnati this past weekend, winning game 1 of this series last night. Nothing in 2. And the 0-2 pitch, a foul ball.
Ouch.
What's going through his mind right now too? With you know, you come out from being this time last year a dominant pitcher and then trying to find it right here.
Yeah, you can see him shaking his head. He's just trying to get comfortable, you know.
And the 0-2.
You could see Jack right there. He looked like he was frustrated or shaking his head. I think that the pitch comm is in his ear. He doesn't even have to look up now, look at signs. He's kind of looking down, and he's shaking off Andrew right there, getting to a pitch, and you can see that was kind of awkward, but that's what's going on out there.
And the 1-2 pitch. Missed in. 2-2.
Slowing it down now, I think, which is good.
Runners at first and second. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 out here in the home half of the first, and the next to Caratini. Ground ball, slowly hit right side. Out there, and a double play. Nice shovel pass there by Nolan Gorman, and a 4-6-3 double play. Home run hit by Adames, and we're tied 2-2. Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Car Shield. Car Shield cars go farther. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Willie Adames, the 2-run homer. And we're tied at 2-2. It was the 66th double play turned by the Cardinals. And again, a nice job by Gorman. Quick shovel pass to Tommy Edman as they turn 2. And that sends us to the second inning. Bader's last 7 games, he's got 9 hits. And a ground ball hit sharply to third. Peterson gobbles it up for the out. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
This moment brought to you by Great Southern Bank. With flexible loan options and a dedicated team in your corner, a loan from Great Southern can bring those lifetime investments within reach.
Here's Elias Newbar. Tomorrow, the one-year anniversary of his debut in the big leagues. Debuted last year at Comerica Park in Detroit. Showing bunt and pulls it back for a strike. A shift on the right side, and that pitch taken high. June 11th against Tampa Bay, Gonzalez threw 68 pitches, and that is his season high. There's strike two. Bullpen of Milwaukee, no earned runs in their last 28 and a third, 9 games. You'll see plenty of that bullpen probably tonight. And the 1-2 off the plate, 2-2.
Yeah, that's the thing. You usually want to get the bullpen, but here it might not be so much fun. Get your runs early.
It's the second time he's made an appearance at this ballpark. The other was with the Rockies. Took a loss, went 5 innings. And the Cardinals have seen him before. He's 1-2 with an ERA near 7 in 4 starts. Newbar pulls it foul. Chi-Chi, the nickname given to him by his great uncle. Birth name is Alexander. The 3-2 pitch. Newbar sends it out to left, and Yelich is there, coming in to make the catch. There's 2 outs. Download the MLB app. Get video highlights, live pitch by pitch, breaking news, player updates, stat leaderboards, and more for your St. Louis Cardinals. The MLB app. Kisner's in a rut, 3 for his last 35.
He's in a rut. I'll tell you what, he's hit some balls hard and had some terrible luck. It's got to turn around for him, and he's been playing defense like a madman. So I'm running him out there, hoping this luck is going to break.
I think if you're Ollie and Ivan Herrera all of a sudden gets a start and he hits, then he's got to play. You got to start getting production from this spot.
That's true, but you also have to go with your guy, I think, too, as much. I mean, the thing I feel bad with is he hit a ball last night with 105 miles an hour, and he got robbed at short, and then he's lined out a couple times in the outfield. It's just, you know, and he's done a lot of work to get better. And this is just one of those ruts that you got to go through. He said, you know, I've seen the ball better. Talked with him today. I'm walking a little bit, seeing the ball better, and putting some good swings on. I cannot control what happens. And I said, you got that right. You cannot give up either. And you got to keep playing hard. You cannot get frustrated with yourself, because as much for you defensively, you're important as you are more offensively. I think it's you know, guys lose sight of that, lose track of where their importance is. Some guys are on both sides of the ball. Some guys are 70-30. Some guys are, you know. So his defense is overweighing his offense right now, and it's needed that way.
0-2 pitch. Did not go. And I'm sure when you're 3 for 35, you know, that's weighing on you, and the fact that Yadi's going to miss some time here, so you're getting your shot. You put pressure on yourself to say, hey, I could do this. I could be the guy.
Yeah, and I told him today, just do not take it too hard. Do not get carried away with worrying about the numbers. Just go out and play each game one at a time. Because, you know, you cannot hit the 5-run homer, and you can't get 5 hits in a game. It's not that easy. One day at a time. I think maybe when you're in this situation as a hitter or as a player for him, it's probably more nerve-wracking now with another guy behind you than it would be if you're just not hitting with Yadi
on the bench, you know?
Absolutely.
Because now you're kind of looking over your shoulder a little bit, but you also know that when Yadi comes back, hopefully you'll still have the job that you've created for yourself by working hard.
Vaughn Herrera made his first major league start on Sunday. Had 3 strikeouts in that game. Had been hitting the ball well down in Memphis. And the 1-2 pitch to Kisner. 2-2. Close calls. Last 6 Cardinals losses have been by 2 or fewer runs, and 7 of the last 8. Full count. And the 3-2. Long at bat here by Kisner.
Little 3-2 slider right there.
Well, the Cardinals with 224 home runs at this ballpark since '01. Most among any visiting team. Albert has 20 of them. Goldie not in the lineup, 17. Arenado stadium leader in slug and OPS. As Kisner hits a fly ball into shallow left, but there is Christian Yelich. 1-2-3 goes St. Louis. We move to the home half of the second, tied at 2. Move to the home half of the second. Let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Danny, as you mentioned, Paul Goldschmidt not in the lineup tonight as he deals with lower back tightness. Goldschmidt told me he's dealt with it before and it's not something that he's overly concerned with. Goldschmidt told me, I'm just trying to be smart about it. I could have played today, but I think it's best to take a day and rest it. Goldie said, it's nothing I haven't dealt with. Sometimes the back gets a little sore and I give it some rest. Dan, Goldie says good chance he'll be back in there tomorrow. Here's hoping, right?
Oh, yeah. And Goldie, you could see it with the swings last night. Not that they're tentative, but just wasn't quite letting it go. So take care of it now and then get it back in there tomorrow. First pitch is strike to Luis Urias, second baseman. Led Milwaukee in hits and extra base hits a year ago.
I don't know if I heard.
And that's a base hit out to left field.
If I heard it right about yesterday or not, but I thought maybe yesterday might have been a planned day off for him, and then he had to end up DHing because of the O'Neill situation. But regardless of that, Ollie said, you know, he got through yesterday fine. He just was a little stiff, and you know, it's a long haul, and he's, you know, I heard the paper guys, the other media guys talking about that. You know, are you worried about him not playing? He's like, man, there's a lot of games left.
Now Peterson, Urias with 1 stolen base. Jimmy, have you seen the arm angle here drop with Jack?
It looks
Flaherty?
a little different, yeah, and it looks way different, especially on the slider. And I'm wondering, you know, is he trying to make it, you know, kind of babying it down, trying to keep it down? He's not really throwing it. Is he not happy with the way it's moving, so he's trying to make it move? Just falling off right there with that changeup. He's just got to try to stay tall, let his stuff work. I know it's frustrating. He's got a long way to go. The work that you do to get ready for the season is a lot, and what he's done so far isn't really the normal workload that he would have starting a season. So he's probably behind, maybe somewhat in spring training still, and so he's going to be off here and there, and especially with his command.
Pitch number 32 coming up to Peterson, and the 3-0. Peterson is 5 for his last 15 with a pair of doubles. Short lead at first by Urias. And the 3-1.
Well, I think if you're not feeling good, why not use all your weapons? You know, get away from just fastball, slider, or fastball, curveball. Throw it all. Saw the changeup. Saw a little bit of a slower slider / cutter. 3-0, and there's something else right there that he doesn't normally throw. So I would just start inventing stuff. You got to get through it.
3-2 pitch. Fouled back. We talked about it in the first inning. Again, you go back to this time last year, and he is blowing people away. He would be in the Cy Young conversation, probably headed to the All-Star game, and now fast forward to now, just the mental exhaustion of the rehab, wondering about health, all those things. This is his career.
Yep. You know what struck me, and I think we forget how good he's been. I was shocked to see that he was number 16 on the strikeout list for the first 94 games of his career. That just goes to show you right there that this guy's special. You just got to get him back healthy.
Fly ball out to left. And Newbar with the catch and the first out here in the second inning.
You're seeing little spurts of the velocity and things jumping around. You saw 95 earlier and 93 there, but it's like he's pitching kind of in the low 90s, trying to make sure he's throwing strikes. I would imagine that he's trying to be a little bit more conservative with staying in the game a little bit longer. But you can't really help that. You just got to go do what you do and let the chips fall.
Well, Taylor has hit .321 against the Cardinals this season in 8 games that he's played in. 9 for 28, 5 runs batted in the 8 games. This is the home run midway through against Michaelis. Really one of the only mistakes that Miles made on the night. And against Corbin Burns, that's pretty much all you're allowed. Shift on the left side, and the 0-1 pitch by Flaherty.
I felt like I was a newspaper reporter today. I was running into everyone, and I ran into Miles on the street, and I said, "How you feeling?" basically. And I was more concerned with, just like we talk about pitching, right? The amount of pitches. He said, "I feel great." And he went on to say, "Man, I knew it was going to come down to 1 or 2 pitches and that one long ball. I knew I was in trouble with the way Burns was throwing." And I said, "Man, you know, I kind of wonder, are you thinking that as it goes on?" And he goes, "Yeah, of course you are, because you can see it. I mean, you're not blind out there." And you know, he knew that home run couldn't be the end of it, but you know, positive attitude. I thought he threw great. He knew he threw great. You just have to go on from that. That guy was special last night.
0-2 the count. 9th place batter Tyrone Taylor. The runner at first, Urias.
I was like scoops with Danny Mac today.
I love it. We were talking with Ollie, though, about the pitch count, and I said to him, I was a bit surprised that you kept going with Michaelis, and he said, well, if it was up to Mike Maddox, he would have stayed in even longer. He said, so I'll meet you somewhere in between.
In the middle. So when you're saying 85, you really meaning 105.
I think that's where Mike would have gone. Extra day's rest, part of that. Popped up into shallow center. Catch made by Bader. And there's 2 away. So 2 outs, runner at first. And it brings in Yelich. He was 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts last night. Walked and scored in the first. The home run by Adames.
The other thing too, I think, with Jack is you got to know back in somewhere in his mind, he knows he struggles against Milwaukee. Especially here.
I was going to say this ballpark especially. Yeah.
Well, I've been saying it for 2 nights now. This place is a great place to hit. So, of course. "16 games is louder. 17 home runs."
2 outs, runner at first, and the first pitch to Yelich. Take it for a ball. You know, the one thing with the slider, Jack normally has that really good downward action, and this is kind of staying on the same plane.
Yeah.
So it makes you do wonder a little bit if he's dropping the arm angle, getting under it a bit. And the 1-0 pitch. And a base hit into center for Yelich. Urias stops at second base.
Would have been nice to see Bader throw right behind him on the bag. Sometimes you have to realize or know that they're not going to run. He's just going to snap it right behind him.
Well, if he does that, he might have got him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. And Harrison does the right job right here by throwing it to the cutoff man, but I would have baited him right there, and I would have snapped it in behind him.
Well, Bader, Trent Grisham, Miles Straw, Brandon Nimmo of the Mets. 4 center fielders to play over 500 innings without committing an error this season. And here is Adames, who hit home run number 14 back in the first.
It's hard to play that much defense too without giving up an error. It's a heck of a swing right there.
StatCast powered by Google Cloud. And an opposite field home run to right. Here's a 1-0 pitch by Flaherty.
So the guy was saying, I think you need to pitch him in. I think you got to make him think inside. I mean, someone's getting him out. He's only hit 214. That's where you start going back and seeing what teams are getting him out and how are they doing it.
The 2-0 pitch. Hall of Famer and our buddy, and has a connection to both these franchises. Was told Ted Simmons made an appearance. It was just awesome with the fans and the players at Springfield yesterday at the AA club. Played 5 seasons here with the Brewers. We saw him in the World Series in '82. Traded to Milwaukee with Raleigh Fingers, Pete Vukovich, David Green, Sixto Lescano, Dave LaPointe, Larry Sorensen came back. It's been wonderful to see the accolades and the attention thrown the way of Ted Simmons. It is so well deserved. Great player and a great guy. He's one of my favorites.
I know. You talk about him highly. I love that. But you don't say that about a lot of people that don't get that respect. And I remember the first time you started talking about him, I had to take a second look at everything because I didn't know much about him.
It's crazy it took this long to get into the Hall of Fame. And a fly ball into shallow right field. Dylan Carlson with the catch. And Milwaukee will strand a pair. We head to the third of a 2-2 game. Make sure you vote for your favorite Cardinal. Right now, at the last update we had within the last 24 hours, Goldie leading the way at first base over Pete Alonso. And then Nolan Arenado trailing Manny Machado. No Tommy Edman there, but there needs to be kind of like that utility guy or jack of all trades guy, whatever you want to call him, but that would be Tommy Edman, who
the guy leading the league in WAR,
should be headed to the All-Star game. I don't care what you want to call it, but he should be there. And speaking of Tommy Edman, rolls over on that pitch. You would think Goldie is a lock. The player of the week again in the National League announced today. Edman is first in the National League in defensive WAR and tied for third. Runs saved. Third in outs above average. Leads all of baseball in assists. There's a really good reference that you can go to, the fielding Bible is what they call it, but Tommy Edman has 12 runs saved this year, second most among all players. Key Brian Hayes has 13. They'll give Nolan a run for a Gold Glove this year. He can stay healthy.
Tell you what I've watched this year at third base, I don't know how they're ever going to take it away from him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even close.
play against Tampa Bay should just give it to him right there on the bunt.
Wow.
It's incredible. As Edman shoots it foul and out of play. So the third inning, top of the lineup, second time through. Brendan Donovan on deck. He singled to center, and then Arenado has a double. A shift on the right side. Edman was out early today for batting practice. That's another reason that you look at a guy like Tommy Edman, who is leading so many categories, and you say, well, how's he doing it? Well, he's talented, but man, does he work. He was here at about 2 o'clock today on the field, and early BP. He was the only one. The 2-2. The strikeout of Tommy Edman. And that's how we start this third inning.
You can see Gonzalez right here take out the Chevy pitch tracks and watch. I don't know if they'll stay with it, but he's almost like he applauded the catcher right there, like, hey, nice job. Look right there. He's like, whoop, thank you for that.
There's Donovan, base hit into center, and a run scored. The ground out by Yepez. It's strike one. Brendan Donovan, the 4th most hits this month in all of baseball with 27. 0-1 pitch. 0-2. Two strikes, no problem normally for Brendan Donovan. And the 0-2 pitch.
Man, he is patient, isn't he? That is just right at the bottom of the zone.
Such a good take.
Starts middle, down, middle, and then it just gets inside.
Here's a 1-2. 2-2.
It's a pretty incredible stat, especially for a guy who doesn't have that many at bats in the big leagues at all. What, 148, 150 now?
That's incredible. Think about taking that many pitches.
Well, Jimmy, he's now at 175, so he just went past that mark you talked about. He's worked a full count in 39 of 175 plate appearances so far in his career.
That's including the walks, and I was just looking at straight at bats, and I think that is, like I said, such a small amount for him to just be able to battle big league pitchers.
Another good take. So the one that was down and in, that one up and away. And the 3-2 off the plate. So from 0-2, he works it full and draws a walk. And the first walk issued by Gonzalez. Really good at bat.
7 pitch at bat, swung at 1 pitch.
Well, you think that rookies get over anxious. They're going to expand their zone. He does not do that. And
so
now it's
calm.
Arenado.
How about that 0-2 take? Or was it 0-2, the slider down? I think it was. It just the slider kind of started off middle, was down. He didn't even flinch. It was just like, let's ball's down.
Arenado, a double just over the glove of Peterson at third. Then came around to score. And a grounder foul. See, Nolan, he really wanted that pitch back. It's the kind of guy that Nolan, Goldie, some of the veterans, you'd probably say they got a good chance to do some damage.
And that pitch right there is like on the inner edge.
Two strikes on Arenado. Oh, 2. Hit up the middle. 6-4-3 double play off the bat of Nolan Arenado. Midway through 3, and we're tied. Cardinals and the Post-Dispatch kicking off the summer with a great deal against the Marlins, June 27th through the 29th. Limited time Loge and Pavilion tickets are just $5. As a bonus, select field box tickets are just $15. Cardinals.com/5. Wrap up the road trip on Thursday afternoon here in Milwaukee, and then we'll be back home Friday night with the Chicago Cubs. First time for the Cubbies in St. Louis this year.
Big weekend coming up, huh?
Bet.
It's going to be mayhem downtown.
Love it. Here's Rowdy Tellez. Walked his first time up. Two balls and no strikes.
That first pitch was 79 miles an hour.
Have to assume a changeup, I guess.
Changeup or a slider slipped out of his hand.
Yeah. Flaherty steps away along with Tellez. Three and 0. Well, you also look at body language in situations like this too. At first start, Flaherty was awfully frustrated. There's times you could see that here tonight. There's a strike.
Well,
3-1.
If you had one thing to bank on, it's Jack's control, and it's usually paint down and away in that corner of that box, and he hasn't been able to get that. He's either just been just outside of it or just below it.
And that'll be a leadoff walk, and the 4th here in this ball game. Look at the velocity on those pitches today.
It's not terrible, but
No.
it is not normal for him. I think that
When right, he's probably 95, 96. Leaving at 94.
Yeah, as I say, he doesn't pitch at that very often, but he has it.
So 4 walks and 3 hits allowed. 2-2 our score. Here's McCutchen, grounded into a fielder's choice. His first time up.
Yeah, you can see right there. I was going to say, I think his mechanics are just a little bit off. And you can see right there, he's talking about going forward. He's falling off to the side. Looks like he's going to try to slow down a little bit. You can see all the pitchers have this little thing where they kind of talk about pushing the ball towards home plate, like going towards the plate. You can see him falling off to the side. Has to remind himself.
He's already had 6 3-ball counts in the ballgame.
Tell you what, I bet you Ollie and Skip are watching intently to make sure nothing is going sideways here.
And the grounder foul off the bat of McCutchen.
See that where that ball is right there in the zone, down and in. That's his. It doesn't get the ball up above that very often, especially down on the way to righties. He's been able to throw that ball anytime he needs to. When he gets beat, it gets up a little bit, but when he needs to make a pitch, it's usually down there.
One and 2 the count. Shift on the left side. Did not go. Andrew McCutchen is grounded into 7 double plays this year, and a count even at 2 balls and 2 strikes.
We have
following the leadoff walk by Tellez.
We have 8. I get an 8. Keep it down.
Out of play.
You can just see right there if you think about like the art of pitching, right? The ball down, the pitch before, foul ball down, and that pitch elevated to foul ball up. You can just see where the level changes, where when you get the ball in the air or when you get the ball on the ground. And it's not much, but there's definitely an area in the strike zone where you get it up there, it's going to get hit in the air.
Flaherty requesting a new baseball, likes this one. Short lead at first and a 2-2 pitch. Full count. Pitch count at 56. He would walk McCutchen. That would be 5 here in 3 innings. Not even. Then you start thinking, okay, maybe go to the bullpen at some point or get somebody up. We'll find out. Just back-to-back walks, and that's 5 in the game.
Also, how much do you want him to pitch with his mechanics off? You know, and how much is that taking a toll on his arm and his mind? I know you don't want to take anyone out and just use up the bullpen, but what's the alternative for a guy who might not be feeling great and really, you know, grinding through each pitch right now?
First and second, nobody out. They start to stretch now a little bit out in the St. Louis bullpen. And a strike to Hunter Renfroe. Renfroe walked in the first inning. And an 0-1 pitch by Flaherty. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. And right-hander up for St. Louis in the bullpen.
Notice the last 3 pitches looked a little sharper. You see his reaction after he walked the last hitter. He kind of got like regrouped, kind of shrugged his shoulders. He flipped the ball like he normally does, and then made a couple good pitches.
And a fly ball into center field off the bat of Renfroe, and the catch made.
It was almost looked like he said, okay, you know, you're kind of pitching behind a lot, and you're still trying to make the perfect pitch. It's almost like once he walked right there, McCutchen, he kind of said, okay, let's start this over. And he kind of, that's what Ollie was talking about, his mannerisms. And it almost like he went back into his mannerisms where he flipped the ball, he shrugged his shoulders, he got in, and he threw a really good pitch first pitch, pretty good pitch second pitch, and then he threw his typical slider down and away, just missed, and then another one right there. So I don't know, maybe he just kind of something snapped. But I'd like to see him keep going the way he's going with that last 4 pitches.
Verhagen and the lefty Zach Thompson. Pitch count at 61 as those two are talking about, okay, what's the situation if there's a walk, a base hit? You've got Peterson, the lefty, 2 spots away. What's the best usage of both guys that are getting loose? I mean, that's all part of that conversation. Good pitch and a strike.
That was funny, playing with Skip and now seeing him on the other side. It has changed his demeanor a little bit. He is cut and dry now, boy. He is straight to the point. There's no more like, oh, I want to play more, I hope this, hope that. It is like, yes and no, black and white.
All business.
All business.
Runners at first and second. 2-2 our score. 2 runners on and an 0-1 pitch by Flaherty. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now there's been runners on, but Jack has worked very slowly here tonight too.
Yeah, I think more maybe by design.
Sure.
But also he's laboring. You know, he's throwing a lot more pitches than he wants to or has to. Doesn't have command. It's hot. Probably trying to think a little bit more. Like you said, slow the game down. That's why I'm saying, like, as a manager, you're watching him really grind right now, and that's where does that take its toll?
Verhagen takes a seat. Thompson continues to throw. Runners at first and second, and they 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Caratini grounded into an inning-ending double play back in the first. Two and two. And Flaherty taking his time here on a 2-2. And it has been a grind here tonight.
You can see it on his face.
Oh, yeah.
Really doesn't make a lot of facial gestures either, and it's like he's really trying to concentrate.
Gets his first strikeout, and it comes with 2 runners on. So he walked the first 2, hit the fly ball to center. Now a strikeout. So your pitch count right now is under 70. If he can get out of this, do you want him to go out for the 4th? At some point, you got to keep building up too.
Yep.
He's saying he's healthy.
Well, I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that whether you throw 70 pitches or 80 pitches, I think this is a building block, right? And so do you want him to go back out there? He's exhausted. He's laboring. Are 10 pitches, 15 pitches really going to be that special for his arm? Or if he gets out of this inning right here, is that a major breakthrough for him where he grinded it out and turned it around at the end and made a couple good pitches?
Make a case for both.
Do you really need 80 pitches to get another, you know, and able to throw another 80 or 90 next time? Probably not. But you're right. Trying to build him up. But like I said, also, I think this grinding it out right here is not on the arm, but on the whole body is just as much as just going out there and throwing 80, 90 pitches.
One ball and 1 strike.
She could be a fly on that little spot right there, huh? On the little handrail.
Hearing what those two are saying. Urias, it's a ground ball foul. Yeah, clearly this is as slow as we've ever seen him work, and for all the reasons that you laid out before, and now he's just 1 strike away from getting out of this 3rd.
Well, I think if you're a Cardinals fan and you're a Jack Flaherty fan, this is a good thing. You kind of want to see him be more deliberate and kind of slow himself down, and I think he's doing this on purpose, to be honest with you. I also think he's tired. I really do. I mean, I think he's a horse. I think he works his tail off, but this heat and this mind game that he's having to play with himself is taking a toll on him.
And the 1-2, he's going to get out of it.
And he did a nice job right there.
So his back-to-back walks, 2 flyouts to center and a strikeout. We head to the 4th of a 2-2 game.
Back in Milwaukee, tied at 2. Juan Yepez has getting hot again. 18 games since June. Juan is hitting .324 with a .920 OPS. That includes 2 hits off Corbin Burns last night. Not too shabby. Prior to that, he was struggling. .184 in his previous 12. But Juan told me he didn't get down during the cold spell. He said, I had a great year at AAA last year, but there were also ups and downs during the season. I spent 8 years in the minors. I had bad stretches. I know how to get out of them. Dan, Juan says the key for him is just staying confident.
About that, I have great respect, thank you, Jimmy, for 8 years in the minor leagues. All the bus rides, the long trips, wondering if you'll get the call up. Will it finally click? And here he is. He had the only 2 hits for the Cardinals in the ballgame last night, which included a double. against Burns, and then the Cardinals got a base hit late against Hader. And let's hope Yepez is okay. He had kind of the odd swing, and you can see him grimacing right now. And with that, yeah, the Cardinals see the same thing. And Adam Olsen out to check on Yepez. He's trying to hold up. He couldn't. Then grimaced as he went through the swing.
Tell you what, sometimes a check swing is worse than swinging.
100%.
It puts a lot of pressure on like that, the thumb area and the kind of the inner part of your hand that you don't use very often. You know, you got the bat in your fingers a little bit, not the palm of your hand, and the palm of your hand is what tries to stop you.
And that's hit out of play. Yepez a ground out, and it resulted in an RBI his first time up. Reminder, don't miss your chance to get discounted Cardinal tickets, 8 or more gallons of gas at a participating station using the My Phillips 66 app. 50% off Cardinals tickets. And for more information, visit phillips66gas.com/Cardinals. So the second strikeout by Chichi Gonzalez, who's allowed 3 hits, couple of runs, both coming in the first. And here is Nolan Gorman. He had a base hit to right with 2 outs on a 3-2 pitch his first time up, and that brought in Nolan Arenado. Well, I would imagine that's it for Jack Flaherty. Thompson continues to throw, and Gorman pops one down the left field line and out of play. Flaherty looking at the iPad and I'm sure checking out his pitches, mechanics, those kind of things.
Oh, for sure.
And the 1-1 pitch in the air out to deep center field. Nolan Gorman, a long home run to center. His 5th of the season. And boy, when he hits him, he hits him. Wow! That is big time power to center off the bat of the rookie.
Weren't we just talking about this last night? This kid hits home runs. He crushes them. And I love the lower half. Is just everything stays compact. Doesn't have a big stride. Sometimes he doesn't stride, but he stays behind the ball. Look, doesn't even really swing at it and kills it. So, and it's kind of short. This ball goes at least 420. That's a bomb. Oh my gosh.
Drop in center. And now it's Dylan Carlson, who lined out to second his first time up, and Nolan Gorman is driven in a pair. 428 feet.
Was close.
Woo. 2 balls and no strikes. Brent Suter, the lefty, throwing in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Brewers. And a strike to Carlson. He didn't like it, and the bench letting Roberto Ortiz, they didn't like the call on a high strike, and it's now 2-1. And a fly ball into shallow left field off the bat of Carlson. Yelich is over, makes the catch, and there's out number 2. high atop the batter's eye for Nolan Gorman. Best coverage in the game. Check out this one and the T-Mobile coverage cam. Jimmy, as you mentioned, boy, he stays back on the ball and then just explodes.
That is how you're supposed to hit.
Ooh.
Power comes from staying behind the ball and the legs, not swinging hard.
When did you finally figure that out in your career?
Early. As soon as my first year, I kept rolling over the ball to the right field and to second base. I said, I got to figure out how to stay behind the ball better, and that's when I started to spread out. Kind of helped a little bit in AAA. I hit some home runs to left field with 2 strikes, and I thought, man, I got to figure out how to do this more often as far as getting the ball elevated. And that was kind of what I turned to.
Just staying back, keeping your legs down, not moving your hips forward. Your hips forward, that means the bat's going to drag, and then you're going to have to pull it up to get to the strike zone, and that usually ends up being a ground ball.
3-1. Watching our ball game tonight is John Wright, and a little bit under the weather, so we wish John Wright a very speedy recovery. Nolan Gorman has given the Cardinals a 3-2 lead. 5th home run. He's driven in now 15 on the year. And Bader has that high strike called against him. Threw the bat away, a little smile, and it's now 3-2. In these situations, you always feel like, man, if it's even close as a hitter, I better be swinging.
Well, you just got to apologize right there. I mean, no matter what you believe, you just got to say my bad, because regardless of where it's at, the umpire, you're not trying to show the umpire up. And he said my bad, and I think it's good.
And Bader hits it in the air out to shovel left, and Yelich will make the catch.
He's not mad that he could have walked. He's mad he missed the pitch to hit right there.
All 5 home runs from the rookie, well over 400 feet. A no-doubter to center. Redbirds back on top. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. The Fonz giving you a thumbs up because they're closing the roof. We understand there may be some rain coming into the area, so they go close up the roof. Now, we did have at this ballpark one night, Jimmy, as Zach Thompson takes over for Flaherty, but we did have a rain delay with the roof closed. Had a leak, and it was leaking really hard.
Did it close fast enough?
Well, it's just making like a pool of water out in right field. So it was closed, but there was an issue, clearly. And we had a stoppage in play.
In the dome.
1 ball and 1 strike.
They all kind of leak a little bit here and there.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they do. There's some drops usually in every one. How about when we were in Tampa Bay, how hard it was raining when we first got there that first or second day, and you could hear it hitting the roof. It was raining so hard.
And the 1-2. And a grounder pulled foul. So far, so good for Zach Thompson in the big leagues. His first ever appearance was 4 innings at Wrigley. Grew up a Cubs fan from Selma, Indiana, and picked up a save. Had a start, which he gave up a couple of home runs, but coming out of the pen has been very good. And the 1-2 is on the ground. And Jace Peterson, the first out in the home half of the 4th.
Kind of like the way Thompson throws the ball. He
I like it a lot.
Hides it a little bit. Got velocity. Move it around. He keeps the ball down. He's got that big curveball. Remember Jeremy Affeldt?
Oh, sure.
Lefty, he was in Kansas City for a little bit.
Very good in San Francisco.
Yes, in San Francisco. Kind of reminds me of that in a shorter body. Not as tall. He kind of has that little, hooks the ball around him, and the curveball just kind of jumps out of his hand.
Well, they finally were able to get him mechanically on track. Last year, about this time last year, was struggling and then got it going by the end with the Arizona Fall League. There's that big bender. Was good there. Solid spring. Doing fine in Memphis. And maybe he's found a home here in the bullpen with the Cardinals. He's going to get an opportunity. Cardinals need someone to really give them some key innings to bridge the gap. There's two really good breaking balls in this at bat, but bridge the gap. Middle innings to your, high leverage guys 7, 8, 9.
Well, those guys are not always going to be ready too, and so you got to have somebody else that you can trust. Keeps getting outs. You can put him anywhere.
Arenado to his left to get Tyrone Taylor, and there's 2 away. While we have a moment, quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
So 2 games as a reliever, 7 and including this 2/3 innings, only 3 hits, no extra base hits, 7 strikeouts. And the opponent has hit 125 against him. Slowly hit up the first base line. Thompson, a 1-2-3 inning taken there by Donovan off the bat of Christian Yelich, who slams down his helmet. Nootbaar, Kisner, Edman coming up. New pitcher, Chevy called to the pen, and it's the lefty Brent Suter. Don't blink, you might miss a pitch. He is a fast worker. I've talked to some players that say they know maybe the stuff isn't. We're not talking about Steve Carlton out here. He's a major league pitcher, so he's got good enough stuff to be here. But they love playing behind him because he's so fast. They just love it. His 22nd appearance. Last time out was on the 16th. So it's been 5 days, and that was against the Mets when an inning, gave up a hit. He is now the longest tenured Brewer. Brent Suter, been here that long. And that pitch taken high.
Longest, been here the longest. That's good. You know what? It's funny too, because it did have a little turnover here in the last couple of years. They had the same team here for about, seemed like 7, 8, 9 years, and all of a sudden they just one by one just trickled away and gone.
And the 2-0 pitch. Nootbaar with a high fly ball into deep right. McCutchen back and circling it. It makes the catch.
Did you say circling it?
Yes. Kind of dancing out there, and finally got under it to make the play.
That's when you think it's going way back, and then you go, wow, there it is. It's coming back down. He heard your voice. He got a little nervous, and then he was like, "Ah,
come on in."
Yeah.
Now I got it. Boy, what a good player he's been for a long time.
A long time.
After an extensive run in Pittsburgh, he's
still only 35 years old.
Spent time with Pittsburgh. He's been with the Yankees, the Phillies, the Giants, now here in Milwaukee, and a really good guy too. Did a lot in the community when he was in Pittsburgh. Was fully invested.
He did his time there. He was there for 9 years.
That's hit out of play. 2 strikes on Kisner. Fly to left field, first time up. 0 for 4 head to head with Suter. And that is popped up, but near the screen. And it drops foul. And a souvenir right in the front row. The Bob Uecker statue is here at the ballpark. That's all the way at the top of the ballpark.
Cheap seats, good seats, eh, buddy?
There it is. Must be in the front row. Popped up again. The outfield grass. And the catch made by Urias. There's 2 down.
What a stud.
Bob Uecker, and still calling games. Longtime voice of the Brewers. You spent time here. I'm sure you're around Bob, and he's great. He's so much fun to be around.
First thing I did when I got here yesterday was came in and
Give him a big hug. Still swimming laps down there in the SwimX every day in the Brewers locker room. This guy is going strong. 90 years old, I believe he said yesterday.
And a fly ball popped up. Tellez. Suter 1-2-3 midway through 5. Harry Doyle 3-2.
His first rehab appearance for Memphis tonight. He started the game. Hicks coming back from a right forearm flexor. 1 inning, no hits, no strikeouts, 1 walk, 14 pitches, 7 strikes. Danny Hicks working his way back. He'll be in the pen when he returns.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Getting a look at some of the highlights here. Jordan Hicks. And that's another one that could bridge the gap, obviously, for the Cardinals as they await his return, but bridging the gap to those late innings, or maybe even put him in some of those late innings too.
I would like to see him get. Man, he is some kind of talented.
Just got to stay on the field, be healthy.
Yeah, seems to be the toughest part for him.
Big curveball and a strike for the Adames. 2-run homer in the first and fly to right with 2 runners on in the second. Second inning of work for Thompson. Jack Flaherty went 3 innings, 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 strikeout to 5 walks. Elevated his pitch count, and it was a grind for those 3 innings. Gave up a home run to the aforementioned Adames. He just joined us. It's Paul Goldschmidt as the National League Player of the Week. He had 4 home runs, drove in 11. Had the highest OPS in the league. Held on to by Kisner, and a strikeout for Thompson in his first of the night. When you do things like this, 4 up and 4 down, this is when your resume starts to climb in the eyes of Ali Marmol, Skip Schumacher, Mike Maddox.
Pretty good pitch right there. I mean, I think about threw a really nice breaking ball. You throw that breaking ball for a strike and you see a guy jump up and down, regardless if it's a ball or not, that leaves an impression in your head as a hitter. And now you protect a little bit against that. You sometimes think, oh, he's going to go back to that, and then you get 95 and up. Wow, not a lot of hitters can adjust to both of those.
And the 0-1 pitch to Rowdy Tellez. Shift on the right side. And the 1-1 out of play. Tellez walked a couple of times tonight.
A bit late right there.
But again, back of your mind, the breaking ball.
Oh, for sure. That's the thing, though. That's, you know, that's what you see a guy like Jack get
So frustrated because when his command isn't where he wants it, he doesn't really have, your game plan kind of goes out the window. You know, it's not like just Jack, it's everyone. It's, you don't have command of your pitches, then your kind of game is having to, you have to rework it during the game. And a lot of guys just like to, you know, not that you pitch the same all the time, but have those things you can rely on that you know you can go to. And when you can't do that, you have to kind of start all over in your thinking.
2-2.
So in that last inning with Jack, he threw a couple of slower, kind of like smaller sliders. I threw a 3-0, kind of get me over, little slider cutter. He zapped it, kind of jumped on a couple of fastballs, and then kind of just snuck through that last inning. I think he got a little frustrated and said, I'm just going to let this go.
Thompson slamming down the rosin bag. He thought he had strike 3.
Well, if you've been watching this game, that pitch up has been a strike some of the times.
Yep. And a 3-2 pitch to Tellez. Breaking ball. Goodbye. Back-to-back strikeouts.
Great pitch. That's a big league pitch right there. 3-2. Big strong hitter up, and you throw a big knee buckling breaking ball. He has no chance. This is just perfect.
Ooh, look at that view. I love it.
Normally when you're a left-handed hitter, you just turn away from it as if it's going to hit you. You protect yourself and you just keep walking back to the dugout. As soon as it starts to drop, you're like, okay, I figured this one, I'm out.
McCutchen is 0 for 1 with a walk. Shift on the left side. First pitch, a breaking ball taken down and in. 4 home runs for McCutchen this season. He's driven in 25, hitting .213 against the lefties. 5 up, 5 down so far for Thompson. And a fastball misses.
Wow.
Apparently in. You see Thompson is kind of talking to himself, frustrated. He knows that that's a strike.
Well, he also knows now that he is in a situation where he's 2-0 with a guy who's been around a long time and knows how to hit.
2-0 pitch. Curveball. And that'll be foul.
Look at this throw right here.
I love it when he does that.
Right
He even knows it's
back.
foul, but still completes the play, and you go, wow. That's
Still
pretty darn good.
one hop right at the waist of the first baseman. Sorry about that. Just working on his game a little bit.
Sure.
Real time.
Good fresh haircut.
I said to Nolan the other day, I said, boy, you cut all your hair. He said, man, it is too hot in St. Louis to have all that hair. So he got the haircut.
You ain't kidding.
And a 3-1 pitch to McCutchen. 2-out walk. Don't miss Budweiser Bash Tuesday, June 28th in the Budweiser Terrace, featuring former Cardinals John Stuper and David LaPointe. Good old Dave LaPointe will be in town. The lefty. Purchase a theme ticket, receive a bobblehead, VIP theme ticket, gain access to an exclusive pregame autograph session. Tickets at cardinals.com/budbash. So the Brewers have gotten 6 walks in this game, and with 2 outs, runner at first, Hunter Renfroe coming up. It'll be Drew Verhagen coming in. Healthcare difference maker, start number 2 of the year, Jack Flaherty. 3 innings, 3 hits, couple of runs. The walks got up the pitch count. He had 5 in this game. Gave up a home run. And gave the Cardinals 3 innings and 71 pitches. BJC Healthcare difference maker. And the new pitcher in for St. Louis is Drew Verhagen. I would assume that the big 3 are available tonight. You know that Genesis Cabrera could be extended. Ollie may be thinking, I could try to get just a third of an inning from Verhagen, build up his confidence back, get the out here, or get an out and one more inning to get you to 7, 8, 9. So we'll see how he wants to play it.
He's got a lot of options, like you said. Everyone seems to be pretty rested.
And the first pitch to Hunter Renfroe for a long look.
I think you got to give a lot of credit for Jack. I'm thinking we're talking about 3 innings, 70 pitches. They give up 2 runs on that home run with 5 walks and 3 hits. Got through that inning with only giving up those. Got through that game with only giving up 2. I mean, he was grinding.
Curveball of beauty. Verhagen, 16th appearance. Saw him pitch last time out against Boston, went an inning and a third, 3 hits, 3 earned, a long home run. in middle relief was kind of the bugaboo this past weekend. Friday night, Cardinals came back, but they fell just short. Same thing on Sunday, and it was middle relief that gave up the majority of the runs. So 2 outs, runner at first, and an 0-1 pitch. Let's get a check on McCutcheon.
Fired that over there, didn't he?
OPS of 882 against the lefties for Renfroe, and that's one of the reasons probably that you make this move. And it's 0-2.
Well, I like it that, you know, those guys, Ollie and Skip, have those stat sheets in their hands, and it's basically who does what against what, but what do they do? Is this guy a ground ball guy, fly ball guy, righty versus lefty? You know, when the OPS, like you said, when you get into that situation, nobody on, you might let him go, but with a guy on first base, especially that can run with 2 outs, you might want to get him out of there in case of a double.
High in the air, shallow left. Tommy Edman makes the catch. Verhagen gets the out, and we played 5. 3-2 St. Louis.
Milwaukee, you're saying, is this guy ever going to retire? So he'll go tomorrow. It'll be game 3 in our Budweiser What's on Tap. It'll be start number 45 of his career against the Brewers. 45 starts against Milwaukee. He's 20-14 with a 2.73 ERA. And we'll come your way at 6:30. Valley Sports Midwest. And there's other teams, by the way, saying the same thing. Will you please retire?
How about he's got 34 decisions against this team?
It's incredible. I mean, we know you're beating us, okay? Enough. As Donovan puts it on the ground against Sutter, his second inning. And the first time that Brendan Donovan has been retired tonight. Singled and walked. And now Craig Counsell going out to make a change with Arenado coming up. I believe this will be Miguel Sanchez, the right-hander, coming in.
Copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Cardinals and not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cardinals.
Beautiful skyline right there.
Oh, yeah. Miguel Sanchez in our Chevy Colt to the pen. 1 out, nobody on, and Nolan Arenado will be the batter. Good crowd tonight here in Milwaukee. It's what you expect when the Cardinals are in town.
What do you got with Sanchez?
Good stuff. 1 out, nobody on. Consistently, he's in the mid-90s, features that slider. He'll get it up to 96, 97 even.
This is testing you.
Oh, yeah.
Fastball slider change. It's good to see that he's not getting that pitch up of the zone.
Times they say he is just filthy. And they are trying to find others to step up. Get the ball to Boxberger, and Devin Williams leads the league in holds with 16. Then you got Josh Hader at the back end. Boy, they can short some games. 2-0 pitch. And it's popped up off the bat of Arenado. Just shaking his head as he walks back to the dugout. Reminder, we've got the Yachty Ueno Sox coming up. 25,000 fans ages 16 and older take home a pair of specially designed socks. That's a Friday, July 8th, when the Phillies are in town.
Special socks. I love it. Quit missing out on my stuff.
There's Juan Yepez, the designated hitter tonight.
Did you say July 8th?
That's right. It's a Friday, July 8th.
For that. I will be there, and I will be hoarding some socks. I'm wearing no socks to the field that day, so I can take my own home, my own pair home.
Ball and a strike on Juan Yepez. Giovanni Gallegos getting loose in this pen for St. Louis. And the 1-1 pitch to Juan Yepez. Grounded out, RBI number 17, scoring Brendan Donovan in the first and struck out in the fourth. Sanchez, third pitcher used by Craig Counsell tonight. And it's a ball and 2 strikes.
2-2. Well, last night they had Corbin Burns give them 7, struck out 10. Williams had the 8th inning, and then it was Hader in the 9th. He allowed the infield hit, and that was it. And Burns allowed just 2 hits. The strikeout of Yepez midway through 6, and the Cards on top.
Cardinals with the lead. And Giovanni Gallegos into the ball game. Hot night here in Milwaukee.
I need one of those. Little fan it off on here. Whew.
You a fan of the Beatles, Jimmy?
Yeah.
You like the Beatles?
I grew up on the Beatles only because that's what my parents listened to. What do you got?
No, I just
They're coming into town?
I was panning the crowd, and some of the guys were kind of familiar.
Got their
the Abbey Road album.
I was gonna say they have one of those cover band look-alike guys.
Oh, yeah.
The whole band. They were. I thought they were in town not too long ago.
Is that right?
Yeah, serious.
Well, they got the big festival coming up here in Milwaukee, the Summerfest.
A lot of red going on down there, huh?
Oh yeah, you're always going to get Cardinal fans when you come to Milwaukee, but about a 5-hour drive, 5.5, something like that.
Yep, that's what he said.
It is hot in here. It's never been this hot in this city. That when I've been here, it's certainly not in the ballpark. I mean, it is really warm. I mean, you played here. You remember it ever being this hot?
It's never, like I said, I was doing some stuff and someone said it's been over 20 years. And then before that, it was the times that it was hotter than this, it was like 1901.
Wow. So Giovanni Gallegos into the ball game.
Ouch. Twice tonight for him, isn't it?
Caratini,
the foul ball.
Yeah, I think it is.
Schenberger.
Lefty's hitting .256 against Gallegos. So Burhagen got the final out off the bat of Renfroe. This is what I was talking about. You give him that third, and now of the big three, you've got to think, okay, who's going to give me multiple innings potentially? It stays close, deep right, at the wall, and caught by Dylan Carlson. Caratini gave it a ride, and the first out here in the home half of the 6th. Typically, the one that's given you multiple innings has been Genesis Cabrera. see how it plays out tonight.
I thought this was interesting here with Gallegos here in this spot. You know, with the switch hitter. And then you have left and then right. Is that how I had it? Yes. Oh, you got right. Yeah. Switch right and left. I'm sorry. I was looking at it backwards. And then, never know, can go back out there. It's been pitched in a while, like you said.
What I'm thinking is that you have him get this inning.
Then you got Yelich and Tellez, both left-handed, 1 and 3 next inning. Yes.
Right.
With Adames, how do you want to battle him? That is where you get paid the big bucks for.
Luis Urias, and the 0-1 pitch from Gallegos. Crowd tonight of 30,208. 30208.
Write that down on your book. Sign it. Auction it off.
There you go, Jimmy. It's right there.
There you go.
Genesis Cabrera begins to throw in the St. Louis bullpen. The fly ball to Carlson, and that's out number 2. While we have a moment, quick word from BOS.
You're moving up in the world. You deserve a bank that can keep up with your changing needs. It's time to make the bold move. BOS. Bank boldly.
Three hits tonight for the Brewers, 4 for St. Louis. And this is Peterson. He's fly to left field, grounded out to second. Used the first man that Thompson saw back in inning number 4. Thompson inning at 2/3. So he struck out 2, allowed a walk, no runs. Verhagen came in with 1 on, 1 out in the, rather 2 outs in the 5th. He was able to get Renfroe to pop out to short, and Gallegos has gotten the first 2 here in this 6th inning.
One ball and 1 strike. Cardinals will have Nolan Gorman, Dylan Carlson, Harrison Bader in the 7th inning. Brad Boxberger getting loose for Milwaukee.
We're going to start amping it back up again here with the arms coming out of the pen.
And the 1-1 popped up near the Cardinal dugout, and that'll find the seats. Good old Cardinal fan. Come on.
Or it'll find it back. Ouch.
Put a glove on that right shoulder.
It's going to leave a mark. I promise you that.
Cat just came in the booth. Do you know where he wears glasses? I had no idea.
No. He's got X-ray vision.
Incredible.
With those glasses
Boy,
on.
the things you learn in this booth, Jimmy. Mark that one down.
Go Cat go.
The 1-2 pitch bounced.
Yeah, that gets me every night.
Well, when Brian Shapiro says go Cat go.
Go Cat go. It's like there's a Dr. Seuss book, I believe. The Cat in the Hat. You got the cat in the booth.
And a fly ball out to deep right. And again, Carlson there on the edge of the track as he makes all 3 catches. Gorman, a long home run in this game. He's driven in 2, and he's coming up when we come back. St. Louis Cardinals baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. And presented by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Roof is now closed here
at American Family Field. Sanchez to face Nolan Gorman. This is the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Longest home run by a Cardinal at American Family Field this year. Nolan Gorman tonight at 428. Pujols had one earlier on a Sunday afternoon. You may recall 426. Eric Lauer, the lefty, is going tomorrow, and I would imagine that Albert would be in the lineup. We'll see. Longest home runs this season, Tommy Edman, the third and the fourth, and then Arenado. And the 1-1 pitch to Gorman. It's pretty quiet at the plate. Not a lot of movement. Doesn't step out. I mean, he's in there to hit, man.
He's very calm.
Yes.
Like very, very calm and still. And the same with the swing.
Shift on the right side of the infield, and a 2-1 pitch to Gorman. And Gorman hits another. His second. And the first time he's had a multi-home run game in the big leagues. Nolan Gorman with a rocket into the St. Louis bullpen. Kevin Knight, the rookie, is now driven in 3. And thanks to Nolan Gorman, Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri.
Pretty quick swing, short. Ball just jumps. Nobody moved on the field. When he hit that, you would have thought he hit it out of the stadium. The way everyone reacted, just a line shot.
And 1 the count on Carlson. Gateway Honda home run inning, and so they donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. And the 0-1 pitch taken down and in by Dylan Carlson. 0 for 2, lined out to second, fly to left. So Gorman a solo home run in the 4th, and another here in the 7th,
And an RBI single on a 3-2 pitch back in the 1st inning, and that's his 3rd home run on this trip. Here's a 1-1 to Carlson. Six home runs for Nolan Gorman, and now he's driven in 16. The 2-1, 2-2.
Well, I think if you watch him enough, you can see that what he was doing in AAA was not a fluke. And he's got exceptional power. He's pretty patient. I think that really the only pitch that has been giving him trouble is that slider down and in, and that's something you don't see in AAA very often. And I know that this is everyone that can throw that pitch is pretty much in the big leagues, and the only difference between being successful up here versus that pitch and then not is just basically taking it. And everything else, you can see that he is just able to cover and with some ridiculous power.
And a 3-2 pitch. How about back-to-back home runs? Shift on the right side, and instead it'll be a walk. Dylan Carlson now has walked in 7 straight. There's Harrison Bader. He thought he walked back in the 4th. It was called a strike, then had to get back in the box and fly out to left on a 3-2 pitch, and is grounded out to 3rd. 0 for 2. That was 109 miles per hour off the bat for Gorman. 396 feet. So the first time he's had a home run that has not gone over 400.
Over 420.
Yeah. Talk about it a lot, but you know, he's 22 years old, man.
That's what we
just turned.
I think we're missing, or we're not missing that. I think that's what we're forgetting sometimes.
This team is still very young, the whole team.
A short lead at first by Dylan Carlson, and back in. That's a very short lead, but you see it sometimes where guys get crossed up and how they take their lead and leaning a little bit, and then boom, it's right on you.
Well, when you have a short lead, you're not expecting them to pick over, and sometimes it's just coming from the manager in the dugout. You're thinking, well, maybe if I'm just sitting here not doing much, they won't pay attention. It's already put into the system.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Bader.
Good job right there.
So he's showing bunt, but you know, we've seen he has struggled at times to bunt, and this, I was thinking, boy, this would be a time to get another run in, obviously, and maybe you'd bunt in this spot. Plus his speed puts a lot of pressure on the defense, but he's not one to really do that.
Well, and the third baseman's not really in because he doesn't bunt well, but if he gets it down, I don't know if they can throw him out if he gets it in that grass area.
And the 1-1 pitch. Bader pops it up, and this will be Tellez to make the catch. And Lars Nootbaar, he's lined out to left and sent one to deep right that was caught by McCutchen. 0 for 2.
Still waiting for this guy to break out this year.
Yeah,
he's got the swing.
Pro camp with the club, was here for opening day, didn't play all that much. Tough to get in any kind of rhythm there. Been up and down a few times. One out, runner at first, shift on the right side. And that pitch taken for a strike by Nootbaar. And the 0-1 against the shift. Race to the bag at second and nowhere to go. Carlson beat it out, but yes, a very good play. Adames to keep that on the infield.
That's first and third if he doesn't make that play right there. That's easy first and third too. This ball's not hit hard enough for anyone to come get it. Carlson's off the races.
Runners at first and second, and stepping in will be Andrew Kisner. Pitching coach is Chris Hook. So Sanchez come in with 1 out, nobody on in the 6th inning. He got Arenado to pop out. Yepez struck out swinging, and here in this inning, greeted with a home run by Gorman. Walk to Carlson. Second walk the Cardinals have received tonight. Bader popped out to first, and now the infield hit by Nootbaar, who's 1 for 3, and the batter will be Kisner.
I mean, man, that play not only saves, like I said, first and third, but that's just now you're just a pop fly away from scoring a run, like you said. And it's amazing to watch some of these guys play defense these days, you know.
Well, you're probably stealing with Nootbaar too.
Going and get that saves a run right there.
Yep.
Be a good time for Kiz to come through right here, huh?
Needs to get going. 0 for 2 tonight. Fly to left, popped out to second, and the first pitch taken for a ball. Caratini the backhand on it. Cardinals now with 6 hits in the game. They've out hit the Brewers 6-3. Brewers had a lot of opportunities early as Flaherty walked 5, and they have stranded 6 on the night.
Kisner 7 for 35 with runners in scoring position, a .200 average. All kinds of room in right center. Outfield is fairly shallow too. Two and 0 the count. But this changes too how maybe you plan for your bullpen. You know, if you're Craig Counsell, you may stay away from some of the guys that you would consider in a tight game. Now it's a 2-run lead, and if you extend that, then all bets are off.
It's a good time for Kiz to let it fly right there.
Backhanded. Out there, a turn and a double play. 5-4-3 on the double play, and it's time to stretch. Nolan Gorman, a couple of home runs tonight. He is driven in 3 for St. Louis. Another no-doubter, this one into the bullpen of the Cardinals. Let's stretch. It's 4-2.
Yelich, 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Adames, a 2-run homer back in the first inning. We're in the home half of the 7th inning. Tyrone Taylor, Christian Yelich, and Willy Adames. 4-2. Dylan Carlson made all 3 catches in right field in the 6th inning with Gallegos on the mound. As the Brewers went 1-2-3 in that inning. Taylor 0 for 2 in the first pitch popped up. And a souvenir here in Milwaukee.
What do you got here? You got Cabrera sitting down now, and so you're going to have Gallegos here with a 2-run lead. See how far you can get him.
Well, 2 days ago, Cabrera had 26 pitches, so now it's Gallegos being asked to be extended here in this game. Missed in.
Well, if you could stay away from walks and you can just pitch per batter to batter, you're in good shape. You don't want to get anyone on base with these top of this order coming up. A couple of these guys got some big time pop.
That's yanked foul, not the screen. Flaherty 3 innings. Thompson inning and 2/3. Verhagen a third of an inning.
And now it is Gallegos pitching here in this 7th. Count of 1 ball 2 strikes. 3 infielders on the left side. And a swing and a miss. A strikeout for Giovanni Gallegos. Top of the lineup in Christian Yelich. Plaza Tire Service pitch tracks.
Really sure this is what he's trying to do, but he got the strikeout. Just a little bit slower slider, not the hard one that's down. Not probably what he wanted exactly, but sometimes you got to take it.
Yelich, a walk, run scored, single to center and grounded out.
Feel like he's just not the same guy as maybe trying to pull the ball a little bit more, get the ball in the air a little bit more. I feel like that ball in the past, he would hit it in the gap, regardless if it was a home run or not.
Yeah, it was going
it's
on the
almost
line.
like he's just the bat head drops just a little bit for him not to get to that ball anymore.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Yelich. Craig Counsell trying to get the most out of him, clearly by moving him up in the lineup and just trying to jumpstart him a little bit too.
See, I think sometimes that puts a lot of pressure on a player. And also, if you're struggling, I mean, to be honest with you, you don't want to hit 5 and 6 times a game. You want to figure it out before game time in batting practice. It's not a game time problem. It's more or less just getting the reps as far as swings and BP and just finding your groove. You're able to turn it up once the game starts. He's just not in the groove like he's been Well, it's been a couple years, but he's been off and on being hurt, but just not the same guy right now.
That's a good example of what he's been doing. Many times you'll look up and you say, boy, he hit that ball hard, which he did right there, but everything is on the ground.
Like I said, that little bit of movement, the hips, the slide forward, makes the bat drop, makes the bat of the head try to go upward. That's giving you lots of ground balls.
Here's Adames. Did the 2-run homer back in the first inning against Jack Flaherty. And once again, I'm going to be fascinated to hear from Jack how he feels, what he thought happened here tonight. Same thing with Ollie and his evaluation of what he saw. Gallegos a strike away from going 6 up and 6 down. Pitch number 20 coming up.
I believe I'll throw that pitch right there, but just a little farther outside. He clearly is trying to launch.
And the next 1-2 the count. Adames 1 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout against the Cardinal right-hander.
Still throw it again.
Fouled back.
The thing with a guy like him is the fastball is a tough pitch because he stays on the ball. You saw the home run earlier to right field. It's not a guy that just runs into the ball once in a while and pulls something hanging. Like, he tries to stay inside the ball. So if you don't get the ball down, you don't throw in something off speed or get it in, he's able to keep his hands back and push the ball into right center field with power.
Fly ball off the bat of Adames, left field. And there's Newbar. So Giovanni Gallegos 6 up, 6 down. And the 8th inning coming up of a 4-2 game. Buy tickets easier than ever on StubHub, the official partner of the Cardinals, offering the widest selection of seats and prices. So look up your seat view before you purchase, and you know the view of the field from that seat. Tickets available on StubHub up until pitch number 1. Cardinals leading the ball game by the score of 4-2. They've out hit the Brewers 6-3 in the game. And the new pitcher is Peter Strzelecki. Pitched Wednesday at New York, had 2 perfect innings, 3 strikeouts. Made his major league debut back on June 2nd. Second stint with the team, and our Chevy called to the pen. He was the minor league pitcher of the month for April, and they brought him up after an ERA of 1.04. You'll get Tommy Edman, who is hitless tonight. Fly to left, called out on strikes, and popped out to first. And then Brendan Donovan.
Holy frisbee.
Donovan on base twice. And then Nolan Arenado, who is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Nolan Gorman 3 hits tonight and 2 home runs. That's hit up the middle, base hit. Tommy Edman. Hey, Jim, let's check in with you.
Danny, you know, Brendan Donovan has been sensational for the Cards this season. Part of his game is being aggressive. Last night he got thrown at second in a spot where Ollie Marmol said he probably shouldn't have been running. Brendan told me, I saw the ball go between the catcher's leg, kicked off the umpire's foot, and stayed there for the catcher. Donovan told me with Goldie up, wasn't a good spot for that. If you're going to go in a situation like that, you better be 100% sure you're going to make it. And Danny Ollie said they love Donovan's aggressiveness, but that's one to learn from.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. You don't want to suppress that in any way, but he'll learn from it. Smart player. But you got Goldie on deck, and you got to realize Paul Goldschmidt with one swing could tie it up if you're on base.
And I thought what Ollie said today to a couple different people is really smart. It puts everything in perspective. If you're going to go in that situation, you have to be able to get there standing up. So that takes all the guesswork out.
Sure.
It's basically saying like the ball's got to get all the way back to the backstop, and you got to be able to trot second base. But you can't take away anything from this young man right here, the way he's been playing the game.
Yeah, Ollie telling us the situation on Friday when he got turned out to be a double and 2 runs scored with 2 outs in the comeback, near comeback to tie it. It was so close at second base. The Red Sox, and it was a bang play. They reviewed it, and I mean it was very close, and you can't be thrown out in that spot either. Again, you appreciate aggressiveness and getting after it, not playing scared, but you also have to be smart. So it's a count of 1 ball, 1 strike. I was talking to Brendan about these spots right here, taking a pitch or 2 early in counts to let Tommy Edman run. He's got 15 stolen bases. There's kind of an art to being the guy behind Tommy Edman.
Oh, and he does a good job of taking pitches too, but I think it's sometimes different when you need to or when you're just feeling comfortable.
And Donovan is at first base tonight.
All over the place.
He's played first, second, short, third, left, and right, and played above average.
This week.
Tommy is running, and that's a base hit into right field.
Edman picks it up, now on his way to third. And runners at the corners for Nolan Arenado. Arenado with a double and a run scored back in the first, grounded into a double play and is popped out.
Pretty good deke right here on the infield. The Brewers almost got Tommy to kind of sit there. You can see right here, he pops screaming at him. But great job by Donovan. Put the ball in play right there.
Here's Arenado, and the infield is drawn in a 4-2 game. 8 hits now for St. Louis. Arenado with a base hit out to left, and it's 5-2 Cardinals. 3 consecutive singles here in this 8th inning. Nolan 2 hits as he drives in his 46th, and it's a 3-run St. Louis lead.
Guys in scoring position, you better get that first pitch down. He's coming up hacking. It's the second time tonight he's been all over the first pitch.
On deck, it is Nolan Gorman. And I'm trying to think just off the top of my head if the Cardinals have had a rookie with a 3-home run game. He's got 2 tonight. And I don't believe that has ever happened in Cardinals history. Maybe we see a little history here tonight.
It'll be fun. I'm always down for a little history, especially if it involves a homer or 2 or 3.
Be awesome.
Except for when it was 4 when we were at the Reds Stadium and it was on the other side.
Scooter Gennett.
Yes.
Well, he was making up for the Mark Whitten game against them the early 90s. There's Juan Yepez. 5-2 our score. We're in the top of the 8th. And runners at first and second. Yepez RBI tonight. And Juan on the first pitch hits one out to center. That's Taylor. He's under it. Makes the catch, and the runner stayed put.
And here comes Nolan Gorman, who is 3 for 3 tonight. Got a base hit on a 3-2 pitch with 2 outs and a run batted in the first, and then this monster home run to center. That was in the 4th. Then in the Cardinal bullpen in the 7th. Home runs 5 and 6. The Budweiser plays of the game.
Something to watch, man.
Trying to make history with another home run. There's been, by our research, no Cardinal rookie that has had a 3 home run game. Shift on the right side. Popped up left side and out of play. I'll tell you what, that was the pitch, wasn't it, Jimmy?
You see his reaction right there?
Oh, man.
So a changeup right there. Just sat there.
Was the last rookie to have a 3 home run game. Just the other day, Jack Sawinski did it for the Pirates. And the 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. The last Cardinal with a 3 home run game was Paul DeYoung, 2019 against Pittsburgh at PNC. Here's a 2-1 pitch to Gorman. And it's 2-2. Get out of play.
Well, if he's not protecting right there, I bet you he takes a bigger swing at that last pitch. And it's right where he drives the ball. I don't think he's going to see another fastball in this situation unless it is up and away.
And the 2-2. Hit the other way, slicing, and that ball is down. A run will score. Nolan Gorman has driven in 4, and he's 4 for 4 tonight. Very nice piece of hitting there, going the other way. 4 hits, 2 home runs, 2 singles, and 4 runs batted in.
Anyway, I'd like to see him hit another home run for sure, but if you're the manager, you got to love that swing right there. That shows you that he can adjust with 2 strikes and put something in play when needed. This is just a backdoor breaking ball that he stays with. This is great hitting right there. Look at that. It's a nice job.
Dylan Carlson. Back on May 28th, Nolan Gorman had a 4-hit day against these Brewers, and he's got 4 hits tonight. And it's on a hop to the second baseman, Urias, back to first, and not in time. Well, if you're the Cardinals and you wanted to sit Helsley, you could, but he hasn't pitched in a while. It's been like 6-7 days. So you might have to get him in a game just to get a little work in. You also have Nick Wickren out there. The Cardinals leading by 4 runs, and there is Ryan Helsley. Many times, too, with Ryan, if you get him up, and remember, the inning started with a 2-run lead, he's coming in the game.
I mean, there's got to be somebody down there you get some work, right? You get him in there for an inning.
Jimmy, you have to go back to April of 1925. Last Cardinal rookie with 4 hits, 2 homers, 4 runs batted in a single game. It was Les Bell against the Cubs, April 28th of 1925, and that'll be a stolen base for Dylan Carlson. Steals that easily, and for Dylan, that's his 2nd steal. And a base hit could extend the lead. Runners at second and third. And a 2-1 count on Harrison Bader. Hitless tonight, 0 for 3.
Got some guys rested down there, I think, right? You got Helsley. Is it McFarland hasn't thrown in a few days? Say Wickgren.
2-2. Well, the way I'm looking at it, you could get Helsley in the 8th, let him get his inning in, and then, you know, Wickgren or McFarland, one of those two in the 9th. We'll see.
And the guys with the most time off, and then you got a couple guys that pitched 2 days ago, but I think overall pretty healthy down there.
Bader puts it in play. It is a foul ball. And Bader called out on strikes. Cardinals strand a pair, but they pick up 2. 10 hits tonight at a 6-2 lead. Six to 2 and a big night for Cardinals second baseman Nolan Gorman. 4 hits, couple of home runs, has driven in 4. And gets a little hug from the future Hall of Famer Albert Pujols. All smiles right now in that Cardinal dugout, bouncing back after a tough loss in Game 1, and they're 6 outs away from evening up the series and going back into first place and being tied with Milwaukee. And it's Ryan Helsley to face the middle of this lineup, Tellez, McCutchen, and Renfroe. But a big night for Nolan Gorman. Fun to see.
You like how this played out with the bullpen too. Like you said, you got Helsley right here with basically the middle of your order and a little breathing room. So he's not having to overthink, overwork. He just go out there and throw strikes. Like you said before, keep guys off the base. Don't give any walks up. And be aggressive.
Flaherty, Thompson, Verhagen, Gallegos very good tonight. 2 scoreless innings, 6 up, 6 down with a strikeout, and now Helsley. And the first pitch, a strike. Tellez, a pair of walks, and struck out. Maybe the pitch of the night was the 3-2 curveball that dropped in from Zach Thompson to strike out Tellez.
It's a big strikeout, you're right.
But just the 3-2 in that spot.
That was, yeah. Well, what does that do for him, you know? The confidence that they can call that pitch again in the future. In a big spot.
Helsley last time out was June 14th, Game 1 against the Pirates. And the 0-2 put in play. And from the outfield grass, Gorman to Donovan, and the out. While we have a moment, quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
The only blemish right now from the guys coming out of the bullpen was a walk issued by Thompson with 2 outs back in the 5th. And since then, nothing. And they have not, this 4 of Thompson, Verhagen, Gallegos, and Helsley, they have not allowed a hit. Last base hit for Milwaukee was in the 2nd inning. Ooh. A ball and a strike on McCutchen.
Good old-fashioned hard ball right there.
Grounded into a fielder's choice in inning number 1 and then has walked twice tonight. Bueno going tomorrow against a lefty, Eric Lauer. Popped up by McCutchen. Kisner giving it a look near the screen and out of play. Ryan Helsley has allowed a total of 6 hits all year. Here's another guy that could be an all-star very easily this year.
And especially you think about too, he's got 21 games pitched. It's not just, you know, 5, 10, 15. I mean, 21, 25 innings. Every time you say something about this bullpen, it kind of catches you off guard, especially with the kind of stat right there. 6 hits.
A .36 ERA. Gallegos had not pitched for quite some time, 7 days, and same thing for Helsley. And it's 1-2.
That means his whip is pretty low too, isn't it? He's whipping it pretty low. Never could understand that.
Walks, hits, innings pitched.
Just as an off-ball thing.
And the catch made by Dylan Carlson, and there's 2 away.
Basically your on-base percentage for a pitcher.
It's a little bit more than that, but yeah. So 2 outs and Hunter Renfroe, who has walked, fly to center, and popped out to short. Jimmy, on the bus, we're going to go over whip, and I'll have it all down for you.
I mean, I get it. I'm just saying, I think it's, you know, it seems sometimes that stat is just kind of thrown out there like, here, look at this.
And a strike to Hunter Renfroe.
Pick. Just good hands right there. It's not fair. Not that one.
That's 92 with that sinking action.
Fair. 99 up top, and that thing came out of his hand in a straight. It didn't jump. It was out of his hand like a fastball. No hump in it at all.
And the 1-2 pitch to Hunter Renfroe. Put in play. And Nolan Gorman to first. Luckily, he didn't hit the bag. Very close. 1-2-3 for Helsley. The bullpen has been sensational here tonight. 6-2. For St. Louis. Top of the lineup has done a lot, and the middle has done a ton. Specifically, Nolan Gorman. 2 singles, couple of solo home runs, and he's driven in 4 of the 6 tonight. Cardinals have outscored and out-hit the Brewers here tonight. They've out-pitched them. A little bit of everything as the bullpen has been very good. So you had Helsley have that 8th, and it was a quick inning. I would assume, though, maybe they go in the direction of Nick Wickren. We'll see. And that's hit out to center, and the catch made as Nootbaar hit it on the button.
Another one of those guys needs to catch a break. They took the ball hard a couple times. Nothing to show for it.
Lined out to left, hit one to deep right. Had the infield hit. Now line out to center. And it brings in Kisner, who is 0 for 3.
But the only hit you get is the ground ball. You hit 2 balls on the button and one pretty hard.
That's baseball, huh?
Yep.
Gonzalez went 4. Suter, Sanchez, and now Strzelecki. One ball and one strike. And a ground ball and a base hit for Kisner.
Knock you off your back a little bit.
One out hit for the Cardinal catcher. Top of the lineup, and Tommy Edman. Strzelecki, the first batter that he saw was Tommy Edman back in the 8th. He gave up 3 consecutive hits, and they'll see him again.
Good short swing right there by Kiz.
Fastball and a strike to Tommy Edman.
Fly to left, struck out looking, popped out to first, and a single to right center. Brendan Donovan on deck for St. Louis. 2 strikes on Tommy Edman. Cardinals here in game number 70, trying to pick up win number 39. And the 0-2 way inside, 1-2. Hit down the left field line, out of play.
I love the fact the other day that he came out, hit that leadoff home run, first pitch, jumped all over it. It just goes to a little warning to the rest of the league, like, take a lot of pitches, but don't try to throw me a heater down the middle early on. Shake up that first pitch thought process. Chasing him right there.
And now the first baseman is Donovan tonight. 2 runs scored, 2 hits, both singles, 1 to center, 1 to right, and a walk and a ground out to second. Strike 1. Another aspect of tonight's game that you like to see, the strikeouts have been cut down. And the Cardinals struck out a bunch. Obvious reasons. When you have Corbin Burns and then Pivetta on Sunday, they were really good.
You have to tip your hat to last night. He looked like he was just playing around part of that game. He started getting that curveball over, and then it was more trouble.
And an 0-2 pitch to Donovan. 1-2. And a strikeout of Donovan, and we move to the bottom of the 9th with the Cardinals leading 6-2. No hits allowed after 3 innings from Jack Flaherty. So Thompson inning and 2/3. Verhagen got a key out with a man on. Gallegos 2 scoreless, and Ryan Helsley only blemish was just a walk by Thompson. That's been it.
And Helsley will finish off this game with the Cardinals leading 6-2. It'll be Caratini, Urias, and Jace Peterson for Milwaukee. Helsley at a 1-2-3. Bottom of the 8th. As the Cardinals try to even up this series, and they've got Waino going tomorrow. Caratini is 0 for 3. Grounded into a double play. He struck out and flied out to right. And the first pitch is taken for a ball. And the 1-0 pitch. Fastball and a strike at 100. Ryan Helsley made his major league debut in this ballpark back in 2019. And his first major league strikeout was Ryan Braun. And the 1-1. First home run he allowed was, I couldn't believe he got it. It was Yelich. There was a pitch that looked like it was going to hit him in his neck, and he hit it out. Wonder if he knew it was coming.
Hit him in the neck.
It was unbelievable. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball. Helsley knocks it down with the glove and applies the tag. Don't get hurt.
Oh, he's not going to get hurt. That'd be the other guy.
4 up and 4 down. So nice job by Helsley. Urias will be the batter. He is 1 for 3. Single to left, fly to center with 2 runners on. Back in the 3rd, that was the last man that Jack Flaherty faced, and also flied out to right. Flaherty, 3 innings, 2 runs, 3 hits, and since then, no hits allowed by 4 relievers. 1 out, nobody on. And the first pitch, a strike. The 0-1. 0-2. Second inning, he's throwing even harder.
You know, when you're on the road and you get to know people a little bit more, and like a guy like Brian Shapiro, you talk to him every now and then. You go on the road, and well, we were talking to him one time, and he said, "I wish I could just throw a fastball one time at 100 miles an hour, just one time. I'd like to see what it's like." Don't we all?
Fly ball out to left into the gap, and that'll go to the wall.
And Brian, if you throw it down the middle, just in the future, if you're listening, that's what happens to it. No matter how hard you throw it.
That's the first hit allowed by the bullpen of the Cardinals, who came in the 4th inning. And it's a double with 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. That was right down central.
Yeah.
Urias has 2 of the 4 hits tonight for the Brewers. Jace Peterson. Arenado is in at 3rd. And the first pitch by Helsley. Off the plate, ball 1. One ball and 1 strike. Last time Helsley 2 or more innings, June 4th. On a season high 2 2/3. Ninth time this year he's gotten 4 more outs. Good pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I just can't stop thinking about that. I wish I could throw 100 just one time. Did you ever think about that when you were playing?
No, I did not.
Those numbers weren't there back in those days.
No.
I was always just wanting to throw a pitch again.
I was thinking more if I could break 80. Now I'm thinking about that with golf.
Make sure you wear your hat when it's sunny outside. Don't forget.
Oh yeah, it'll get you.
Sun will get you.
2-2 here on Peterson. 0 for 3 tonight.
I'll tell you what, if you're in Tampa Bay and I went out in the sun, it was hot. I mean, it was hot. And I had sunblock, a hat, and sitting under an umbrella. I felt like I was on fire. And I had a red face.
Boy, it sounds like a rough day.
Man, it was hot.
Boy, it's sitting in an umbrella.
I was, you know, we can't sit out in the sun that long. We don't go out in the sun that often. We're underneath the stadium and in the booth. And I'm not just going to go burn my white shoulders up. There's some guys out there running around in the, you know, we have an off day there. Dudes need a tan on this team. Center fielder might be one of them.
The strikeout of Peterson.
Harry had some bright pink shorts on.
Is that right?
Yep. Pretty good pitch right there. Wow. Come up with that one.
I'm afraid to ask what you were wearing.
Woo. Not bright pink, I can promise you that. I don't have that in my game.
Tyrone Taylor, the final hope now for Milwaukee here in game 2.
Wow, what a breaking ball.
Big movement there. 2 outs, runner at second here in the home half of the ninth. Six to 2 St. Louis. Night in which Nolan Gorman has 4 hits, 2 home runs. He's driven in 4 of the 6. And the 0-1 pitch in the dirt, kept in front. On the air tomorrow at 6:30. Wainwright, Lauer. Then a day game on Thursday. Dakota Hudson, Jason Alexander lined up for the Cubs. First couple of games, you got Palante and Michaelis.
Tell you what, the way Miles has been pitching, I can't wait to watch him pitch again.
Palante very good on Sunday against Boston in 5 2/3. And it's 1-2, and the Cardinal fans will rise here in Milwaukee out of their seats. 1 strike away. Helsley with pitch number 29 coming up. The 1-2. 2-2.
I like what the first base umpire did right there. I don't know if you saw it quick enough, but and I'm sure you did. He kind of motioned that he didn't go right away.
Yep.
I think that's like sometimes you don't need to wait, delay it. Like you see the catcher jump out of there and he's pointing. You know the umpire's coming with it. You might as well go ahead and give everybody a heads up right away.
Two outs, runner at second, and a 2-2 pitch. Yelich on deck, 3-2.
3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Ends it with a strikeout. And the bullpen goes 6 scoreless with 5 strikeouts. And a 6-2 Cardinal win behind the offense of Nolan Gorman.
You ain't kidding. Bullpen shines. Nolan Gorman. Wow, what a day. 22-year-old man going bananas today. Another 2-hit game for Arenado, too. Nice win. I think nice win all the way around.
So it's off to the post-game show. Cardinals out hit the Brewers 11-4. They win it by the final of 6-2. Stay with us. More Cardinals coverage coming up. 6-2 the final. The series is even.